haven't been the same as you and I. Been too many happy times. Seem to different in the things I do. Try to communicate with you, but it's been gone away for far too long. Don't let them change, then I'll be gone. And I want you to know this, and I want you to know this, yeah. And I want you to know this, and I want you to know this, and I want you to know this, and I want you to know this.
Hey, how y'all doing out there? What is going on? It is a Falcons Sunday preseason, third game of the year, final preseason game of the year. And for the first time in a long time, we've had a preseason game to talk about on Sunday. Steve, why aren't you there? I know you're supposed to rep. I get it. But I wanted to be here today. This is preseason. This is our last, really first opportunity to see our starters come up today. So I wanted to share that with the folk. Good to see y'all in here today. We're going to talk about the Atlanta Falcons versus the Cleveland Browns. Supposed to get our first look of the year of pretty much most of the first string guys. Matt Ryan at quarterback, Mike Davis at running back, Calvin Ridley, wide receiver, Russell Gage, wide receiver, the anointed one, Kyle Pitts at the tight end position. More importantly, to see how this offensive line is going to come together today. So what things are we looking for, folks? What are you looking for today in this game from the Atlanta Falcons standpoint? Just to let y'all know, too, I do plan on trying to come on after the game, very briefly, but I will be on after the game to talk a little bit about what is going on with our Falcons and everything else. Brother Trey, what is going on, man? Was it Pitts better play? Rusty said Jake Paul versus Woodley and Falcons game. I'm here for it. Yeah, that's a whole nother post talking about what's going on with Jake Paul. But you got to give Jake Paul credit, man. He stirred things up and got people watching, so more power to him. Brother Winston, how you doing, man? Good to see you today. Brother Marcus, say let's go. That's what I'm talking about today. Not sure who, but I want to see a pass rush. That's something. I talked a lot about the offense today, but we really want to get into what this defense is having in store for us. And let's remember, folks, aside of a couple of players that we're going to see in schemes in the first couple of games, we haven't seen quite a bit of the starters this year. We must, in order for us to play with the big boys, we've got to manufacture a pass rush this year. No doubt about it. We've got to. Somehow we got to figure that out. Brother Cam, how are you today, sir? David, my brother, what's going on? Cleveland will be a test. I want to see offensive continuity, and that is something that we have not seen aside of a couple of Felipe Franks runs and a couple of runs with 10 seconds left in the clock against Miami. We really haven't seen this offense move cleanly down the field in the first two games. We've seen some facsimile of it, but we haven't truly seen it. Let's see what Josh Rosen has for us. He only had a couple of days to get prepped for this game, but we will see him, according to Coach Smith. He will be on the field. Is his presence enough to knock off Felipe Franks, who has been in camp all summer, learning the playbook, getting familiar with it? Are we at a point where Josh Rosen can come and knock him off the pedestal? We'll see today when he gets his little bit of time. Winston also says cohesion on both sides of the line. Allen, Matt Hennessy, and Chris Lindstrom. Inside the tackles is very important. Not only is it very important, Allen, I apologize. I'm trying to pin some of these remarks that we have up here. That is one of our – That's been our bugaboo for the last couple of years. As Alex Mack started to decline a couple of years ago, it was showing. Most of the pass rush you've seen hasn't been from around the defensive end. It's coming straight up the middle. Don't believe me, go back and look. Folks are coming straight up the middle. That means guard and center play has not been very great. I know a lot of people want to bash Jake Matthews for whatever reason, but Jake has not been horrific by himself. He hasn't been horrific. He's actually been pretty solid. And also to solidify, staying on the offensive line, to see if the new guy, Beavers, is able to unseat McGarry, which would actually be not good, considering that we spent that number one pick on McGarry a couple of years ago. Brother, Robin, how are you? Said, I want to see this defense. To see what this defense can do against a legitimate Cleveland team would be nice. We waited these last two games to see us against our first string. We didn't see that the first two games. We saw our second string against Miami's first string. That didn't go too well. Let's hope those guys, for the most part, aren't going to be the ones on the field during the regular season. But what we saw the first 2 weeks, in my opinion, is the building of depth. And we need some depth on this team, no doubt. Kevin, what's going on, my brother? How you doing today? Say you 100 on that pass rush standpoint. I mean, I watch it, Coach. I'm looking at that part. I like I say, I might miss a lot, but that's kind of hard to overlook what's been going on today. Dre says, shout out to the Braves today for the series with the Giants. They got the shutout 2 out of 3. Look for great things from our Atlanta teams this year. Hopefully they can come through. What's going on, Brother Armand? Good to see you coming in the house today. So, again, keep it coming. What else do you plan? What is going to catch you today when you see the first glimpses of our first team? I am very intrigued by what we're going to do in the running game. Mike Davis was brought in here. I don't want everybody to get super duper crazy excited because Mike Davis wasn't brought in here on a big money contract. He was brought on here on probably a prove-it contract for his backup work and admirable work he did for Christian McCaffrey last year with the Panthers. Maybe bringing him close to home. Maybe that'll spark some things. Maybe he can be that guy nobody expected to be coming into this running game. We need a spark from our running game. If our running game is not up to par in 2021, we are going to have similar draft position in 2022. No doubt about it. We cannot have Matt throwing 600, 700 times again this year. We cannot. Absolutely, we cannot. Last time we had some interior power was with Chester, Mack, and Luigi. And remember, that was the year that all the guys stayed healthy. Everybody was on the field. We all were able to, they were all able to stay healthy together. So we look forward to, look, at this point, I just want some depth in my offensive line. If somebody goes down, hopefully we built up enough with these guys to be able to, have somebody get plugged in. The guard position has been a big problem. It really has. We need to solve that problem big time. I'm getting my drink on with y'all today. And when I say drink, I'm talking about my diet root beer today. So you guys drink whatever you want to, and we'll figure that out. Dre says disciplinary on the first string. In other words, not making a lot of false starts and things of that nature. Having a clean first and second drive. If we can manage to do that, the first 2 drives, I would be fine not seeing the rest of the team, period. I wouldn't mind if we don't. Well, PJ says, let me get your ticket. PJ, here, hold tight 1 second, and I might be able to get it to you. I got to get my phone over here and see what's going on. Sergeant AR says, looking for Mike Davis and Patterson to make some plays. Again, the running game, when you start talking about Davis, Patterson, what's the plan for Allison? Is he going to be in the same position that he was last year, searching for carries? We need to get this thing. I need to see, since I haven't seen anything yet this preseason, I need to see at least 10 points from my starters today. I need to see at least 10 points. And if that takes all half, that's fine. But I need to see 2 good drives, including the touchdown drive, out of my offense. And I think that would make me feel better going into a game against Philadelphia, who has not looked great. Philadelphia just made moves recently. They grabbed Gardner Minshew out of Jacksonville, since it's obvious that Trevor Lawrence was going to be the starter there. So Philadelphia is still trying to figure it out. We cannot go into week 1 against a Philadelphia team that on paper and just judging by what I've seen is not a very good team. We cannot have them come into Atlanta and steal a win on September 12th. So I need to see everything in my power today from this team to make sure that we solidify these starters and make sure these guys are ready to play. Let's see what we got going on here. David says the team's overall toughness. We've been soft over the past few years. How many times, David, do we go into the next year and there might be a defensive coach change, and we say, oh, the guys look tough. The mentality in the trenches, they're doing things different next year. And then we, at the end of the year, we're all sitting here saying, what happened to the changes? What happened to the new coaching? It's a realistic expectation. We want to see better play up front with the big uglies on offense and defense. I want to see some help for Grady. I'm tired of seeing Grady getting these accolades, which he well deserves, but then on the other side, nobody can help him out. Year after year, the last 3 years, Grady Jarrett has been voted by his peers as one of the top 100 players in the league, but he doesn't have any help on the defensive line. Tell me that you're going to help him out, Marlon Davidson. Tell me that you're going to help him out, Tyrone Davidson. I need to make sure that whatever front we're running, whether it be a flexing into the 3-4 or even going back into the 4-3, whatever we end up doing, whatever's going on, I want to see some help for my top 5 interior linemen on the defense. I need to see some help for Brady. We haven't seen that in quite a long time. Rusty said a 75-yard TD pass to Pitts would be nice on the first play. I think that would be great for all of us if they did that. Dre says, I want to see how Matt Ryan has improved since that's all they talked about with Smith work with him. Look, Coach Smith was dealt an interesting hand this year, and Terry Fontenot for that matter. We have a lot of holes in this team. There are still a lot of holes in this roster, period. On paper, going to this year, right now we have a probably C-rated running back. We have, with the loss of Julio, we still have a decent wide receiver group, but of course you lose some value with Julio gone. The offensive line is still not proven, and really nothing goes unless this offensive line gets it together. So we've got to see what we plan on doing in the trenches. The trenches is just, I'm going to be looking to see what those guys are doing. Are we blocking? Are we disciplined? Are we making holes for these running backs? And what do the running backs do once they get the ball? my mind is all over the place about all these plays because I'm going to be looking to see what we have in mind for this team. It's going to be tough. Marcus says Pitt's got that VIP treatment, huh? Probably the only rookie that hasn't seen the field. I have voiced my opinion about that as well. Kyle Pitts, I guess it's been shown that he is ready for action right now. And let's say this, Marcus. They drafted the brother number 4 overall. This, which is the highest position that a tight end has ever been drafted. If you think he's that next level, maybe we don't play him. I don't know. If I were them, I would have at least got him out there and run a couple of drills, run a couple of plays against Miami, just to see what he's going to do, even if you don't throw the ball to him, just to get him with some real NFL action, not the scrimmage against Miami, but the real game against Miami. I would have loved to see that, but you're absolutely right. Cam, I hope our guards light up Jadeveon Clowney's weird. Let me tell you, man. I know a lot of us, we talk about Vic Beasley as we should, Tat McKinley as we should. The biggest bust in the last 5 to 10 years in the draft, in the top 3 of that, Jadeveon Clowney might be one of the top 3 busts. And if you're Steve, how dare you? Because y'all were fooled by that play in the Alamo Dome or whatever, Alamo Bowl or whatever it was when he was in South Carolina and tackled the Michigan guy. That one play got him so much hype. And I'm not saying he's not okay, but he was a number 1 overall pick. He has not lived up to the hype. This is his, 3rd team or 4th? At least 3rd, right? Seattle, Tennessee. No, I'm sorry. Texans, Seattle. Was he with somebody before Seattle? Maybe so. But I know this is at least his 3rd team. I don't have time for the excuses with that. Dre says Julio is hurt more than Titans want to admit with that Achilles injury. Glad he is gone. Yeah. Julio is Julio's something else. Thank you, Devontae. Listen, we need to really look, and I don't even want to get into the Julio stuff. Julio's gone. We need to concentrate on them cats that's on the field. Julio, that is gone and past. Rusty says Myles Garrett's gonna have a sack or 2. Mark my word, ain't nobody on our offensive line checking him. Not being negative at all, but let's rehash this combo later. No, listen. No, I don't want to make it look like I'm ignoring you, but yeah, Myles Garrett is the truth. Myles Garrett is next level, and when he's not hitting people with helmets, he's actually one of the top defensive ends in the league. I expect him to truly put some pressure on those guys today. Cam says, did you hear what that weirdo said this week about guards in the NFL? Dude legit has CTE on the beginnings of it. Yes, I believe it was his 3rd team. Yeah, look, sometimes you can talk the talk and folks can't walk the walk. And he's one of these cats that I don't ever wish bad on individuals like that. But he is somebody, if he's on a team, I hope the team suffers for having him on there. Dude is super overrated when you start talking about him. Let's talk about our defense. So our defense, Dean Pease spotlight is going to be on him. The first thing he said is he's going to bring pressure from everywhere. Okay, pressure is a word in Atlanta that is gold because we don't see it. Pressure is something that we've talked about over the years. We've talked about before Dan Quinn got here. We talked about it when Mike Smith was here. Ever since Abraham left, we don't know what pressure is in Atlanta. aside of one fluky year that Vic Beasley probably fell into 8 of those 16 and a half sacks, we have not had a consistent pressure on this team in a long time. And even got sold the magic beans from Mike Smith a long time ago that sack numbers don't necessarily mean anything. I'm willing to believe you on that, but I need to see some quarterbacks go down. I need to see a Cleveland quarterback on their behind today. I need to see what they have in store for Cleveland from a pressure standpoint. Even if you sell out, this is preseason. Even if you sell out on your blitz this year, I want to see what you have in store. Some of the I don't want to. If we don't get 40 sacks this year, that's telling me that our defense isn't doing what they were supposed to do. Dean Pease was brought in here to get that stuff started this year. Got to see some pressure. Got to. And as far as 2 weeks away, we also have the major cuts coming on Tuesday. The teams have to get down to their rosters on Tuesday afternoon, I believe it is. This roster is probably still in flux. I'm not completely sold that Josh Rosen is still going to be on this team after Tuesday, unless he comes in and goes 8 for 8, 100-something yards and 2 touchdowns. I still think you keep Felipe on the practice squad if you can. You definitely don't use him up with a roster spot. Is he enough? Can he do enough to solidify the number 2 spot behind Matt? I'm not sure he can, unless he just have one really good game today. So what we'll probably see in the third and fourth quarters will determine who's going to be our second string quarterback. And Josh Rosen may have just picked the luckiest time to get cut by San Francisco. Because had he held on for a few more weeks, we'd probably be looking at Felipe Franks solidifying that number 2 position. Not to say that would have been a stretch with the way A.J. McCarron was playing, but at the same time, it is what it is. We're 2 weeks away, folks. This thing starts off in a little bit. I'm super hyped about this. My intention was to try to go down there today after I did, and then I thought about it and I said, you know what? I have not seen these guys on the field, and I did want to look forward to going down there, but I would have only stayed to see the starters anyway. I'm just here to see what we're gonna do as a team. So what I might do, I did come on. I am going to go up on YouTube during the game and just kind of keep things up to date. So if you do want to watch with me, and that's not taken away from any stream that we're doing on Atlanta Bird Game or whatever, because I do still keep on that stream so I can keep up with what's going on. We will be on the YouTube platform, Uncle Steve's Lounge. If you do, please go over there and check it out. Subscribe, and we're definitely going to do live reaction videos during the year. I'm probably going to do a little bit during the first quarter just to see Matt and the guys out there, to see what they do and just get your reaction as we go. So we'll do a little bit of live reaction for the first quarter or so, and then after that, we'll continue to watch the game, and we'll pop back in at the end just to see what's going on. I know it's coming close to game time. We're about an hour away. I'm going to set my stuff up over here so I can start doing that and talk to you. But until then, folks, rise up. Third game of the season. We are almost there. Third preseason game. We are almost there kicking this thing off 2 weeks from now in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. We are almost there. Shout out to the folks down in New Orleans. Hope they all safe down there. Send a prayer out for those cats. I mean, it is looking ugly down there. Yeah, we are rivals at heart, but with the people, man, we don't want anything bad happening to the folks down there. So all prayers for safe holding up down there. That thing looks ugly. So shout out to them. Until then, man, we're going to catch y'all during the game over on YouTube. Check us out, Uncle Steve Lounge. And on Atlanta Bird Gang, they have the stream. I don't know who's doing the stream over there. I know it's usually Sean that does it for us in the Bird Gang group. But turn them both on, man. Check us out so we can react together to what we see with these new look Falcons. And this is your new look starters, folks. Check us out in about an hour. We'll catch y'all then. Peace.